So it's hello, friends, and welcome. Today is May 8th, 2017. You might know that because the date is on the middle of the screen. And we are talking about what's going on the public test realm, the PTR. Bam. Hello. So you might know, because you're alive, that today D.Va was released on the PTR, and there was some balance changes, some hero reworks, all kinds of stuff. And normally, what just happened? I got an Apple Watch, and I'm not used to, like, you can see snacks on it. I'm not used to it yet, so if I keep fiddling with it, forgive me. I ordered a smaller band for it, too, because it's huge, and I'm tiny. But anyway, all right, let's move on. PTR patch. D.Va came out today on the PTR. In a week, she'll be out live, and there's a bunch of reworks and changes. We're going to go over the patch notes together as a family first. And then we'll go look at the stuff in game and play the game. That's what I want to do. We don't normally do this. I don't normally go over the patch notes on stream, but I thought this maybe we could do this time and it'd be pretty fun. Okay, let's do it. So first they're going to tell you about D.Va. I just played some game as D.Va on Squadron on the Stormette show, so I could talk a little bit about what it's like to play her. It wasn't really my kind of hero, I don't think. Then again, I used to think that about Zarya, and now I've gotten pretty good with her, and I like Zarya, so maybe it's just going to take some time. But, alright, trait, mech. D.Va's got a mech. You might know that because you've seen her. When D.Va's mech is destroyed, she jumps out, and she's a little girl. First thought about the mech, it is super slow. She can't mount up in mech, and it's actually, it reduces her movement space. Why are you doing this? She's really, really slow when she's in the mech, and it can feel really shitty if you have to rotate. And also, Zoo just subscribed for 16 months in a row. Zoo, thank you for your continued support of the Dinosaur Club. You get a dinosaur, my friend. Thank you. All right, the mech is really slow, and that was kind of tilting on larger maps. I did Forehead Junction, and if you have to move a lot, it kind of sucks because that mech is hecka slow, and that can be annoying. When she's in pilot mode, I guess people say she hits pretty hard with her attacks in pilot mode. It didn't seem like it to me when I played her. She felt just weak and small and D.Va. I did not take the extra abilities when she was out of her suit. Maybe I should have, but okay, moving on. Her Q is kind of her fly from Overwatch, where she launches herself. She goes pretty fast. It lasts for like 2 seconds. She can move all around. She's not stuck in like a line. She can do whatever. She knocks back any enemy she runs into. It's not like Overwatch where you can do a continuous knockback. It's not like Shen's barrel where you could push somebody halfway across the map. They get hit one time, they get knocked back one time, they take damage one time. Now you can hit 5 people one time. I just dropped my dinosaur. You can hit 5 people one time, but you can't hit one person 5 times. You get me? I mean, I guess it's great for movement because it's all that she's got when she's in her mech. You can use it to kind of peel or break up a team fight, or, you know, whatever you need to do that way. It's a thing that you can do. It does not go over terrain or through terrain unless there's a talent. You had to go around obstacles. Yeah. All right. W is her defense matrix. This is pretty interesting. I didn't get how they were going to port this over from Overwatch, but they ported it over exactly how it works in Overwatch, almost, or at least it feels very similar. She drops it. It's like a hollow projection in front of her. It gets larger as it goes out in a cone, and you put that cone over enemy heroes, and enemy heroes who are in it reduce their damage dealt by like a whole shit ton, with 75%. It's right here. I can read. The mech can move while channeling, but not turn. That's important. You can go forward, and you can go backward, and you can kind of go side to side, but you can't turn around, which makes D.Va really susceptible to like Genji or Illidan, right? Because they can just jump over her back, and you have to try to back up to get them back in the thing. It's really weird. It's great in a team fight where everybody is contained in one kind of area. It sucks, like I said, with heroes that are very mobile and can get behind you and around you because you can't keep up with them. This discussion has come up in a couple places, so I'll try to explain it the best that I can. the hero that you want to reduce their damage has to be in the holo projection. Some people were asking, what if a friendly hero is in the holo projection? Is that protecting them? Not unless the hero damaging them is also in the holo projection. The example is, if you're D.Va here and Kael'thas is way over here, like super far away, and he throws a pyroblast, you can't reduce that damage. Kael would have to be right in front of your face. And yeah, so it doesn't help with range, doesn't help with heroes that are far away. They have to be right in front of you and stay in the thing the whole time. But it's neat. It's neat for a team fight. She flies in, drop the thing, you can protect some people. It's neat, but it's not like the end-all be-all of things. Okay, self-destruct, her E, is weird for me. The first thing is weird is, for some reason, I don't know if this is crossover from Overwatch or if this is crossover from, I don't know, but my fingers think her E is her Q and her Q is her E. When I want to boost, I keep hitting E for some reason. I don't know why. It's just me. I'm a dummy. But anyway, her E is self-destruct. It's not her ult, it's her E ability. It charges up. It charges from her dealing damage, right? And then it gains 1% charge for every 2 seconds spent using basic attacks and 30% charge per 100% of mech health lost. It charges up, and then when it's full, you can hit E and you can explode. It takes 4 seconds for it to explode. There's a talent you could take that makes it deal more damage, but take like 7 seconds to explode. It's crazy. It has a really large explosion field, but without roots or without some kind of slow, most heroes can get out of it. It's an awesome zoning tool. Used on like Brex's holdout if you're trying to hold a point, on Hanamura if you're trying to like defend an objective, or you're trying to cap like one of the cars and you want to just get people away from your car. Hit that self-destruct and everybody will scatter like roaches. It's really neat. I don't know if it's good, but it's neat in wombo combos. Like if you can get a Ring of Frost or a big mosh pit and drop the mech inside of it, that's neat. After you self-destruct, you can call a new mech. The mech can be destroyed. The D.Va's a little girl, we said that. If the mech is destroyed like by damage, she has to wait like 45 seconds before she can call a new mech. If you blow it up yourself with your E, she gets it instantly, which is very similar to Overwatch mechanics, right? You should be familiar with that at this point. Heroic abilities. The first one is Bunny Hop. That's the only one I played with. It's funny that they took her like taunt from Overwatch and made an ability. She bounces up and down, and you can move while you're bouncing or you can stand still. It deals damage, makes D.Va unstoppable, and slows enemies who are inside of it. So another one that's really cool, like if you fly into a team fight with your Q and drop your bunny hop and just kind of like, they can't leave. You can also use it for chasing. It's fun. I liked it. I like bunny hop. It was my favorite thing about D.Va, actually, was bunny hop. I didn't use big shot. Some people are saying big shot's really, really cool. I don't know. I didn't use it. I felt terrified when I was a little girl. Like when I got knocked out of my mech, I just died instantly. But let's say you're better at not dying. You can take big shot, and it's a AoE, or not an AoE, excuse me. It's a skill shot in a line. Pew! She shoots a laser, and it does a ton of damage. Reduces the cooldown of call mech by a whole bunch of enemies hit. It pierces. It's supposedly really good. I don't know. I didn't use it because I was scared to be a little girl. But these are D.Va's basic abilities. What I found playing D.Va was that she feels real good for like a short period of time, and then she just dies. Like, she felt real good when you would fly in and bunny hop and then drop your defense matrix and it would deal damage. It's like awesome. But then you've used all your abilities. They have pretty long cooldowns, and you just get blown out of your mech, and then Alarak just two-shots you. She was fun-ish. She was fun to play. I think she would take a lot of time for me personally to get used to. It's really important if D.Va uses her mech for her E and explodes, or you break her mech to kill the little girl before she gets back in a mech. Otherwise, it's like this endless cycle of little girls and mechs and little girls and mechs. Kill her when she's a little girl. CC, lockdown, really helps with D.Va, although she also pairs really well with lockdown. Again, self-destruct when they're rooted. All right, so we're going to go over all of the patch notes, not just D.Va, but, you know, we took a second to talk about D.Va because she's a new hero, but there's some other new things going on. There are 2 huge reworks in this patch, Alarak and Tyrande, part of that being they received like visual updates. There's a visual update when you complete a talent. And any hero that has a talent, there's also an audio. It's like, it makes a noise, like, I don't even know, like horns going off, like, when you finish a quest. It was really weird and unsettling for me at first, but once you realize what it is, you'll get it. There's new bundles. There's a D.Va bundle. The skin that came over from Overwatch, and we'll look at it after this, is it's kind of like the steampunk D.Va, but not exactly the same. She's got the goggles, but it's a little more modern looking. They call it Goliath D.Va. I don't know. The mech kind of looks like a shark. It's got teeth on it. I don't know. I don't really like it. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted B.Va. See, shark mouth Goliath. But I wanted B.Va, but they didn't give us B.Va. So get over it. One thing I didn't expect though about D.Va, when she's in her little girl form, she can ride a mount. So when you set up your D.Va, like, I don't know the word I'm looking for. Your loadout with D.Va, make sure you pick a mount, because when she's on a little girl, she can ride a horse. So, all right, so there's a D.Va bundle. It's got all kinds of D.Va stuff. That's great. Do that. The Heroes of the Dorm stuff was updated for the winners. Arlington, that won. So Cheerleader Kerrigan has an Arlington skin. The floaty mount thing from Heroes of the Dorm this year also has an Arlington skin. Before I had a placeholder. Arlington's there. Yeah, here it is. Dorm price of the Arlington. There's also a zebra. I haven't seen it yet. I forgot about it when I went in the game, but we'll look at it here in a minute. But apparently there's a zebra. We also have Overwatch Overwatch announcers, D.Va and Genji. D.Va is adorable. If you have her StarCraft announcer, you're probably familiar. Her voice lines are really funny, so D.Va's cool. There's also D.Va banners, D.Va emojis. General D.Va things have been put into the game, so that's good. Speaking of emojis, in-game chat messages are not limited to 10 emojis. Emoji spam is real. A big change was to the score screen. I'm really having a hard time speaking. Starby and I talked about this in the Stormette show, but the roll column has been split. Now you can see healing, also shielding, damage taken on all heroes. Maybe it's not all heroes. Maybe it's just because of the hero I was playing, but at least according to this, it says certain heroes. You can see all columns, and it just looks cleaner and gives you more information. So when you're looking at the score screen, look and see how that looks different. They say they updated the progression portraits as well, just from being like green and blue and purple or whatever they were. I didn't notice. I'm sorry. We'll look at that later tonight. We've got a lot to look at, but it says that it's been updated. It also says the rejoin feature has been made smoother. I don't know what that means, but those are things we have to look for out and about in the world. This was a big one for me, and it weirded me out. When you hearthed before, when your hearth was completed, it would put you back in the Hall of Storms. Like your camera would boop back to the Hall of Storms with your hero. And I personally like that because I would be looking around the map, like, okay, what's happening in bottom lane, what's happening in top lane while I'm backing, and then I would know the back was completed because my camera would move, but it doesn't do that anymore. You just can look around. So if you were like me and you were using that back cast time to kind of boop bop around the map and were waiting for the snap to let you know your back was over, it doesn't do that anymore. So just be aware. Okay, Alarak had a huge rework, and I was never a very good Alarak player. I didn't play him very much, and when I did play, I was not good at. So I don't want to try to be the one to break down this huge rework. Look at this. This is we're only on level 7. We're still going. It's a really large Alarak rework, but too long didn't read. From what I understand from players who are actually good at Alarak, it's a huge buff. He has way more damage potential. His talent tree was stupid before. It makes a lot more sense and is more beneficial to him. So if you are a good Alarak player and you like the High Lord, that's a weird new emote from Liquor Sauce. You like the High Lord, he is better. So that's all I'm going to do with that, because I just don't know enough about Alarak to try to school you on Alarak. Just know that Alarak is gooder now. One thing for all of us, Alarak is a hugely good counter to D.Va. Silences really mess her up because it can stop her from either exploding her mech, using her defense matrix, or getting back in her mech when she's a little girl. So Alarak is a really good counter to D.Va if you need, and as the D.Va who got Alarak real hard, I can just tell you that if you need a counter to D.Va in the coming days, try Alarak. He's pretty good. Cassia got a small nerf, just basically damage reduction on Ball Lightning, small damage increase on Valkyrie. I think if you were ever using Valkyrie, you weren't using it as a damage ult, right? It was a positioning setup for kills. Like if you want to kill a Sergeant Hammer, Valkyrie was really good. So I don't know if that 35 damage on Valkyrie is really a big deal. Also lost a little damage on Charged Strikes, which was, it was a good talent. So small Cassia damage. Genji, the Reflect build, I guess you could say, would be nerfed a little bit, but that was never his optimal build in the first place, according to people who are good at Genji. So I don't think we have a lot to worry about in the changes like to Dragonclaw. Some people are really concerned with things like what we see on Illidan here. Increases the amount of basic attack damage gained from killing minions from 0.1 to 0.2. And they're like, that's point nothing, right? 0.1 damage doesn't mean anything. But with scaling in the late game, it's actually a decent damage buff to Illidan. So when you see what appear to be tiny numbers nerfs, remember scaling exists. These are base. These are level 1 values. And they, you know, matter more in the end game. So it's not bad for Illidan. Speaking of not bad things, Nova, Snipe Master got a buff. Stacks are no longer lost when hitting non-heroes. So minions, buildings, mercenaries. You can use Snipe to lane if you have to and still take Snipe Master. Now you lose your stacks if you miss a snipe completely. Right, if you whiff a snipe, that's how you mess up Snipe Master. But it's a little more forgiving to help Nova just participate more in existing in the game, right? Anti-armor shells, I'm not sure people still take that talent, but if they did, they added a UI to make it look more understandable. But Snipe Master is the big change. We'll probably see a lot of Snipe Master Novas in the short term as people try it out and see if they can handle it better. It's hilarious that Zul'jin got nerfed. His basic attack damage, he's an auto attacker and his auto attacks were nerfed and nobody was really playing him in the first place. So I find that to be really funny because I don't like Zul'jin. So Varian got a bit of a nerf, deserving, right? He's been super good since he came into the game. So he definitely deserved a nerf. The nerf is on his full parry build, right? Rip me, I just made a video on it, but reduces the damage after parrying a basic attack from 25% to 20%, so he lost some stuff there. Warbringer, which was a talent we weren't taking in the parry build, got a little buff to try to get you not to parry as much. And then Live by the Sword also got a nerf. It reduces the cooldown instead of 2 seconds to 4 seconds, so just less parrying overall. Trying to get people to play like High King's Quest and Charge and not just take 1, 3, and 7 parry talents. 4 and 7 parry talents. What's up, Necroves? This is a video for YouTube, but I'm going to acknowledge you because we don't forget Necroves. Okay, moving on. Slight nerf to Pylon Overcharge, I guess. Slight buff to Nullgate, I guess. I mean, Pylon Overcharge for uncoordinated people or just on point control maps could be really crazy. I don't know. I don't feel like it's going to change Proteus's play style a lot. Maybe you'll see more Nullgate since it does a little more damage. I still think you'll probably see more Pylon Overcharge. It's almost not even worth saying with Ariel. Hope generation from damage dealt to non-heroes, so minions, reduced from 8 to 5%. Like, slapping a minion with your whip barely gave you hope to begin with, and now it will give you less. I don't know. Whatever. Lily received a slight nerf. Again, probably deserving, right? She was doing a crazy amount of damage. That's what the developer comments are going to talk about here, that Lily was doing way too much damage. Cloud Serpent got nerfed, which is weird because that's not where the damage was coming from, but like, okay. The big problem is here. Blinding Wind on her E. The cooldown was increased by 1 second, so you can't spam as many E's, and the mana cost was increased, so you can't spam as many E's. Stop spamming your shit. Gale Force, the level 1 talent that increased the damage done by your E's, has been reduced by 10%, and Lightning Serpent talent at 7 also reduced. So just overall, reducing her damage and reducing her ability to spam her abilities. Okay, so probably deserving, though, Lily was topping damage in games that she was in. And having double support and having a support that can be an off support and also deal damage is really cool. And we're going to see one of those characters in Tyrande down the list a little bit. But Lily was just crazy. It was excessive. Lucio, who's been one of the top 2 healers along with Malfurion for a long time now, fits in every team comp. You could always draft a Lucio. He's been first banned for a long time. He got a small nerf in that his healing amount was reduced on his W, which maybe that will just kind of like fucking calm down Lucio too much. I still think Lucio is going to be really good, and I still think Lucio is going to be picked a lot, but just making it so he's not God mode, especially at 16, when he gets those crazy big heals. All right, so his base healing has just been reduced. Just like, sit down, Lucio. Just sit down. All right, I mentioned just a moment ago Tyrande, so now we're going to talk about it. This is a lot of changes here. There's a lot of changes. So a too long didn't read for Tyrande is that she is better, but what she's better, and what she's better at hasn't really changed, but I feel like it's changed for a lot of people. Tyrande has never been a solo healer because her heals are really great. When you had Tyrande as a solo healer, some things you saw like Bakery do with Dignitas, she was a solo healer because they had a super CC lockdown comp with like stitches. And they needed Tyrande for her lunar flares, basically, for her ability to stun and then put her Hunter's Mark on them to increase damage taken to just blow people up. That she could heal as well was great, but she was there for her CC capabilities. So Tyrande's healing has been reduced and the way she heals has changed, but her damage overall has been increased and her ability to deal damage and deal burst damage has been increased. So if you're playing Tyrande as an off healer in double support, which is really common right now, she's going to be dealing a lot more damage than she was. Maybe healing a little bit less, maybe not. She's got some new functionality on her heals, but her damage should be increased if you play her right. And I've seen some Tyrandes already today that are tearing it up. And Tyrande has always been kind of like your off-healer damage character. Kind of like Tassadar, only better at damage and less good at, you know, Tassadar's shields are legendary. But they've been that way since Alpha, and her role has just been sharpened a little bit. That's it. I feel like it's not a big deal in terms of... have they changed Tyrande significantly? No, they just made Tyrande better. Yo, Klein just subscribed for 20... I dropped the dinosaur, though. Darn it. Okay, Klein has subscribed for 27 months in a row. Klein, thank you for your continued support of the Dinosaur Club. You get a dinosaur. Okay, so the biggest change you're probably going to notice as soon as you pick up Tyrande, Light of a Loon, her heal and her Q, it used to be you would heal something and then you would also receive a heal, similar to Uther. They took that away. It doesn't do that anymore. Instead, they reduced the cooldown every time you land a basic attack. So if you shooting people, you can spam that Q, because that's what Tyrande wants to be doing. She's an auto-attack damage deal character. The base cooldown was increased a little bit, but then you'd pew, 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 and it reduces the cooldown. The mana cost was also reduced, so you would spam it. The heal was reduced. It's a pretty small heal, but you're supposed to be spamming it when you auto attack. Some changes to Sentinel. There's a quest that you can get for Sentinel to lower the mana cost, and Pierce. They kind of did that thing where they take talents and kind of fold them together and turn them into quests that we've seen them doing. Big change to Shadow Stalk as well, and I've seen this used so effectively today. Tyrande gains stealth and 30% movement speed. There's no timer on it. She can stealth forever. If she doesn't leave stealth and no one hits her, she just becomes Nova. She's just stealthed. It's hilarious, some of the things that I've seen Tyrande do today, because she has permanent stealth if you take Shadow Stalk. When stealth is lost, she keeps her movement speed and gains 50% attack speed for 5 seconds. 50% attack speed. So I said she's doing auto attack damage. She's bursty. You pop Shadow Stalk, you sneak in, you drop like a Lunar Flare to stun him, and you just blow him up with this giant ass attack speed. It's awesome. Try it. Starfall was even nerfed. The radius is smaller. Don't Starfall. Take Shadow Stalk. Be amazing. Her talent rework is huge. I don't want to go over every single one. They're good. Just try to think of her new talent, Harsh Moonlight. Rennie was playing the shit out of this. You could do some cool stuff with Harsh Moonlight. But ranged Valera, kind of, yeah. She does still have healing though, and she does still have healing capability. Just she has so much burst potential now. So playing Tyrande as an off healer with a lot of burst potential is awesome. Try it out. You're gonna need to look at her talents because they were reworked fully. Shadow Stalk reveals or gain 25% attack speed. Like, she can get crazy. You thought Vala could have the most attack speed? Tyrande at level 20 is out of control. Out of control. Stim drone Tyrande. Do it. You know you want to. So she's far more offensive. Utility in that owls and owls were buffed not in damage. Like, you're not going to do an owl build like Send Them to Hogwarts where you're doing all your damage with your owls. Owls are going to be used more for vision and slows and vulnerabilities. And I mean, she has healing, but like they're saying right here, they're shifting some of her power into utility and offense. Supports don't have to be healers. And yes, Tyrande can heal and heal okay, and that's great and that's fine. But supporting and being a support means more than, you know, being a heal bot, spamming your heal button. You don't have to be a World of Warcraft holy priest where the only shit you can do is cast like Flash of Light. All right, that's not what being a support in a MOBA really means. There's things like vision, things like zoning, things like shielding, things like buffing, you know, buffing the attack speed or attack damage of your friends, or debuffing the enemy team. These are all things that supports can do that aren't healing. A big argument was made when Medivh was first released that Medivh could have been a support. Like, his kit works just fine to be a support. He's not. He's a specialist, but he could be. So keep that in mind when you have Tyrande. Supports do more than just press heal button. Okay, moving on. Here's just a breakdown of talents, but we're going to keep going. Wave of Light, Uther's W, part of the solo support build. Got a teeny nerf, returns less mana, but he'll be okay. Anubarak. I didn't even read this for Anubarak already. Damage decreased. Ooh, it's a nerf. Cooldown increased, damage reduced. Yeah, a little bit of a nerf for Anubarak. But he was seeing a lot of play, first pick warrior. He is supposed to be really good against mages and like okay against other people. So they took down some of the things that make him okay against other people. Like the damage on Locust Swarm, the armor cooldown for Nerubian armor. Right? Increase so he can pop his armor a little bit less, but Barbs does less damage. Just kind of bring him down from being the best tank. Luckily, they didn't nerf the actual best tank, Arthas Menethil. Dahaka nerfed. Overall, a nerf that you see a lot here. Damage increase, which is interesting, but Primal Aggression was removed, and didn't they bop that into another talent? Yeah, these changes are based primarily on win pick rates, remove some unpopular talents and combine a few. Dahaka. Cooldown reduction per attack increase. It's a really awkward sentence to try to say. Ferocious Stalker, his trait. You can get a level 13 talent to update it. But I feel like Dahaka players have said overall this is a small nerf, but probably not a big deal. I don't know. I don't play a lot of Dahaka either. It's hard to say. I'm still thinking about Tyrande, but I don't know. Try it out. Be a lizard. Cooldown increase for Whirlwind on Sonya because she just whirlwinded too damn much. Overall, I think she's still going to be very, very strong. But just like Lucio, just a small nerf to kind of be like, hey, you're fucking too good. Fucking calm down. Calm down, Sonya. And those are the main changes. I'm like having a hard time focusing on Dahaka. So I'm like trying to read it to see like what I'm missing. But he looks fine. He's probably fine. It's probably fine. Some bug fixes. If you're on the PTR right now, there are some bugs remaining. There's especially some bugs with D.Va about getting stunned when going in and out of her mech, so find that. It's hilarious. We had one where she couldn't move and was stuck in the map, couldn't be damaged, couldn't be killed, couldn't move, and just standing there. That was really fun. More like this. We need a lot more like this. Braxis hold up. Fix an issue that could cause players to receive an AFK warning while contesting a beacon. There are plenty of maps right now, Hanamura comes to mind, where you might be escorting a payload or contesting a beacon, and you're not actually dealing damage to anything because there's nobody there, but you're still advancing the map and you get AFK warnings and it fucking sucks. So I'm glad that they're starting to address that. There's the clipping issues and stuff, more bug issues. None that were super duper exciting, like stuff that you wonder how people even noticed. Bladed momentum will no longer grant cooldown reduction for secondary targets hit by basic attacks after learning Fury of the Storm. Like, you have to wonder what human being noticed that was happening in the first place. Some voiceover fixes, though. Voiceover's been weird since they put in announcers, so I'm glad they are working on that. But I believe that is it. That is it. So the biggest changes to Tyrande and Alarak. Some small balance changes, like Sonya, like Lucio, apparently like a Nubarak, like Uther, a little less mana. Lili, it is a nerf. I don't think it takes her out of the double support game. Like, if we're still doing double support meta, I think Lili is still in it, but her damage has been nerfed. Maybe not heavily, but enough where it'll be noticeable. Some of the other ones you might not notice. Probius, you might not really notice any differences. Varian, we might start to see builds that aren't parry Varian. I don't know, parry still is going to be strong, especially against characters like Chromie and Li Ming, who have really predictable, easy to track ranged nukes that you can just drop the level 7 parry and, you know, take no damage. So I think parry is still going to be strong in those instances, but it might not be 100%. I don't know. We'll see. Fuck you, Zildjian. We might see Snipe Nova. I don't know. I kind of doubt it, just considering the way the meta is rolling with double supports and double tanks. I don't know quite how much Nova's going to fit, but maybe we'll see Snipe after having Snipe build get that quality of life change. And of course, D.Va. So now we're going to go into the PTR and actually look at D.Va's body. And I'll see you there.